What happens when a bunch of weirdos on the internet try to make a video game without any experience? And then what happens when that video game is not made and gets lost to the sands of time? And then what happens when art from the video game goes up for auction? And then what happens when a megalomaniac with way too much money buys that art at auction? Find out on this episode of Dude Soup.
That was amazing.
Sorry, Freddie.
Stuttering.
Sometimes I just put my brain on autopilot.
I know.
And then
it's
just mouth moving and it's just empty.
That's improv.
How planes fly in the mountains.
Welcome to Dude Soup. Today's episode is brought to you by Quip, the makers of the Quip electric toothbrush, who are offering your first refill free if you go to getquip.com/dude. ExpressVPN, visit expressvpn.com/dude right now to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. And Indochino, get an extra $30 off any purchase of $399 or more at Indochino.com when entering dude at checkout. Guys,
Hi.
this is going to be a great episode today. I can feel it.
Can you
I
feel
know
it?
it. And you know why I know it? Because Freddie Wong is
Hey,
here.
everybody. How's
Hey,
it going?
Freddie.
Hey, good to be back.
Friend of the channel. Freddie's been around since the inception of Funhaus. He's been coming around.
It's true. We talked about it, I think, the last time.
Yeah.
You were on the one of the first
GTA
open
videos?
house.
Oh, open house.
Open house
Oh,
videos we
boy.
ever recorded.
Wow.
You're a great get.
Arguably our oldest guest.
Yeah.
Well, see, but I brought something for real this time. Now I
You
can
did.
justify, because most of the time I'm like, hey, can I get your podcast? But this time I
Well,
had that real fire.
Yeah, most of the time you're riding on the coattails of the
Yeah.
great work you do, like Video Game High School or Dungeons and Daddies. But no, today you're here for less than a reason.
I come to you as now a bona fide international art collector, dealer. I've entered that class
Wow.
of individual
It's
finally.
You and DJ Qualls.
Well, that's a great tease. We're going to get to that.
Okay.
First, let me just tell everybody watching that you can still buy an RTX badge at an $85 early bird rate. This gives you perks and access to the July 3rd through 5th convention. We'll be there. Hit up rtxevent.com for more details. Okay, now all the business is out of the way.
Now we
The
get
ads,
to the real
the ads are
business.
read. The RTX promoted.
We work hard. We play hard.
I don't even know
How to explain this?
where to. No,
I've had to explain this to my mom, so.
I bet.
Can I read you the text
Yeah.
that Freddie sent me? This was, I think at this point I've been on a new phone. It's been so long since he's texted me. So this is the first thing in
It's
our
just a
text.
number.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's the first.
When
two.
it just says, hey, I want to be clear. These are all separate messages, by the way.
Oh, this is my text message style, is I definitely use the space between texts as emphatic points. Like I
Nice.
never do a big block. I
So-
always do five lines.
So, hey, I want to be clear. I'm going to bid on the 5 Aces art. I don't want to get into a bidding war with Funhaus for this piece of internet history. I need it, in all caps. My response is, what the hell are you talking about? You're scaring me. And his reply is, God damn it, no. You know Johnny 5 Aces, Zybourne Clock. The original art has surfaced, and the guy's selling it on eBay. I said, I just did 2 minutes of research, and I have more questions than answers. And then his reply is, Lawrence will know.
Well, Adam called me over to his desk and he's like, Freddie's messaging me about some meme garbage. Do you know? Do you know
I
what the
thought it
Zybourne
was.
Clock
Is Freddie okay? Have you heard from Freddie? Is he okay?
How long are his
Has
nails?
anyone seen him? Yeah. Is he peeing in a jar?
So here's the quick background, I guess. In 2003, in the Something Awful forums, which is a great place to start, of course, a user began to draft up a game. The game revolved around the concept of time travel. The entire game was planned to be completed in less than a year. However, only one person on the team had previous game development experience as a professional developer. We'll get to his
That's all you
role
need
later
sometimes.
because
Sometimes that's all you need.
It's the beginner's mind, that Zen approach.
this game was the Zybourne Clock. So what did the Zybourne Clock mean to you?
Okay, so Awful Forms is an interesting. So this all comes down to my love of weird internet history, and also my feeling that there's a lot of really funny, interesting stuff that is just lost now. Like there's a good decade of early proto-internet culture, like pre-meme culture that we know now, pre-influencer culture that existed, that is just gone. We don't see it anymore. It is like lost to archive.org. But even that, like there's Flash games, all that stuff is just like, is actively being lost. And this is what
we experienced
I was going to say, without giving away too much,
Yeah.
Adam wanted to find an AMV that he just couldn't. No matter what key terms he searched, trance and otherwise.
Sorry.
But like that really bums me out because that was, the world of like GeoCities pages and like tripod.com pages and like Ate My Balls pages and like animated GIFs and guest books and counters and web rings. These are all the things that we grew up with on the internet. That is totally like archaeologically just gone. It might as well be like the Roman ruins at this point, right? So the Awful Forums was this weird originator of a lot of this weird early internet culture, and it always kind of controversially so. They were they were one of the early places where like music piracy and movie piracy got huge, right? Like Pink, which was that like tracker for like started out on the Awful Forums or like originally. A lot of like these movie torrent sort of stuff had the beginnings there. 4chan started off as an offshoot of one of the of FYID, which again, so it's crazy how much of current internet culture comes from there, because even the stuff of like trolling and the way troll tactics are being used now in a mainstream sense, you can trace back to being like, oh yeah, this is exactly what people on the forums were doing. And so it was this place where it was this weird breeding ground of this stuff. And there was a lot of stuff before things could go viral in the way that we sort of know now, where things would go. So from that, for example, we might know like All Your Bases Belong to Us, right? Again, originated and got propagated and all that stuff was originated from the Awful Forums. Around that time, same thing. There was one of the earliest examples of like a well-meaning, genuine person on the internet trying to do something and not being equipped for it at all, which you see a lot. But this is like one of the early examples of like a couple of teenagers who are like, we want to make a game. We want to make a steampunk RPG. Everyone's played Final Fantasy. We've got ZSNES. We're playing like these ROMs on games on ROM. Like I want to make one. I want to make a steampunk RPG. We can do it. And
did they know each other in person or just online?
I believe they met online. So the person who drew this was not the person who wrote the text that we'll be looking at sort of later on. But they made this earnest attempt to be like, here's some concept art that we've already got. We've already done the work. We got some concept art.
Grassroots game.
It's a grassroots game.
If only Kickstarter had been around.
Yeah. So they're trying to do this, and it just gets dunked on. And it's one of the first examples, I think, of like a thing getting dunked on by a group of people and generating more art and becoming a thing beyond kind of the original thing. Then again, this is pre-meme culture. We didn't have a word for it at all, but it became this like thing that just caught on.
Because they were posting like descriptions of the game and parts of script.
Yeah, and
people were
just
doing fan art and
roasting
shit.
it.
Well, one of the rules was like everything is canon. The one rule is everything must go in the game. So.
And there was like stuff where like, again, like the writing just felt very much of this era that, I think we're all familiar with. Cause again, I was in high school at the time this came out and I was an Awful Forums member like since like even before that. And like, the writing is like what we would do. Everyone has done this. Everyone has sketched in their notebook like, oh man, if I could make an RPG, what would it look like? And you designed an RPG with your friends in your notebooks and no one ever saw it, right? It's disappeared to like your school books back in the day. But somehow this existed and this got put out in a public space for everyone to make fun of. I think people were making fun of it because everyone saw a little bit of themselves in it because everyone has done that. So this is a perfect example of this piece of internet history where this, they tried to make a thing called Zybourne Clock. And it's just like they're trying to be heady. They're trying to do time travel stuff. The infamous sort of description from it is talking about 4 balls on the edge of a cliff and how time works the same way. And even to the point in Fallout New Vegas, there's a reference to
Oh yeah,
this.
we'll get to that. But it spanned like the origins of this and the development, because it spanned like 5 years until there was some semblance of a game trailer released.
Oh, well, everyone started
Right?
doing fan stuff.
Yeah.
Because they abandoned it pretty fast. It's the funny thing about
Yeah.
How long did it last? How long did their efforts?
Oh, it was pages and pages. But then pretty soon,
2003, they start drafting up the game. 2008, Matt, if you'll roll the Zybourne Clock trailer. This is like the closest.
But this is
guess.
from these
But this
guys?
is not from
No,
them,
this is
I
from
don't think.
someone
Yeah,
else.
exactly.
From
It's
a
other people.
YouTuber, Dr. Doug Beach. He uploaded this trailer.
Yeah,
But
so other people have like taken it
They take on the mantle.
and
It's like-
glommed to it. Yeah, it's the original people originally write about it. They're like, yeah, it was a total
Yeah.
mess. They all quit pretty quickly. Wow. Yeah, so again, this is people being like, all right, let's just take this ridiculous idea and kind of running with it.
There's like a story behind the original.
The writing's just very high school, This, my darling, is a device.
Many men and women have died to see, to understand, and to own. In many ways, it's like one of your toys. It's a toy for adults. This, darling, is the Zybourne. I think that's in our script that we're going to read.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Dirk McLaurin is a character.
Oh,
I
I think he's
assume.
the main character of
Well, he's
Zybourne
just
Clock.
someone who's narrating
right?
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just like
Whoa.
So this was a fan's vision, not one of the original
Yeah.
founders of Zybourne Clock.
perchance you've seen him.
That's Johnny Five Aces.
That's
we'll
what.
get to
So
him.
that's so. Okay, I mean, I have questions, obviously.
Okay.
So,
But
one
this
of the
matter of
what was it?
fact.
5 people? Was it the
It's
original?
a few people.
A
There's
few
like
people.
there's the
This is
main
my-
person. There's
my favorite part of the story.
Well, no, so one of them said like, "I will do the fan art," and the one said, "I'm an actual game developer," and they said, "You stay out of it."
yeah. You see.
Yeah. Well, I guess what happened was, and you told
he
me this
quit,
and it
maybe.
made me laugh, was they were all Dreamweavers except for the one that actually had game development experience. But then he was banned from the project for criticizing it.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
A pattern you see so often.
I
these days.
love the fact someone's like, "I will
So
offer my
funny.
services." They're like, "Get out of our way, old man."
yeah. Exactly.
Well, good luck. It's
I'm younger than you.
well, it's the pilot jump like okay, good luck.
Yeah.
I'm leaving now.
Yeah. But I mean, it's what's great about it is to me it encompasses like every kid's high school experience of like I want to make an RPG. I've played Final Fantasy VII, and now I want to make an RPG. And to me this it's a really pure sort of like
Yeah.
piece of history that somehow everyone in the world got to see.
Yeah.
And it is like definitely, like all your base style kind of status. And it's not like a super well-known meme, but it is definitely one of the early examples of this. And I thought that was really interesting. So
Now, you though, Freddie
Yeah,
Wong,
yeah, yeah.
adult Freddie Wong, no longer in high school as far as we know.
yeah.
Has
Your life
his own,
has moved on. The Zybourne clock continued to tick on your life.
Well,
Yeah.
before we get to the action you did take, I want to talk about the action you didn't take.
Uh-huh.
You have your own production company, your group, Rocket Jump.
Correct, yeah.
You could have made a Zybourne Clock
Still
movie
Oh yeah,
trailer.
we'll get
True.
to that.
Oh, man.
because I wanted to.
I'm like,
Talk
what a
about
what a
that a
missed
little bit,
opportunity. Your
yeah.
life could have gone in a
It's not
completely different
over.
direction. I guess the only real way though to make that trailer is a bunch of people arguing about what the trailer should look like.
Oh, yeah,
and then you, the only person who knows how to
Yeah.
make the trailer, leaves.
Like, hey, get out of here.
So the character Johnny Five Aces. That's a
One
character
of
in the
iconic,
game.
The iconic
Well,
heroes of all
iconic
time.
in Zybourne Clock.
Iconic.
Okay, all right. So it's Indiana Jones, Johnny Five
Johnny Five Aces. There's so much
John McClane.
There's so much there with Johnny Five
Okay,
Aces.
got it.
So
Because in his name, it's like one, he's a gambler, clearly.
Yeah.
2, he clearly just cheats.
He
There's
cheats.
not 5. Why would you walk around with your name?
Yeah.
Like your nickname or your last name
He's just
is
that
literally
good.
just
Yeah.
saying
He's just
cheat.
that good.
Billy the Cheater.
Yeah.
Something about you.
Yeah.
so
Call
he's,
me William.
He's a character, and people start doing fan art of him.
Because it was the original art. And again, I think the real thing was like the writing was bad, but it's like, a high school kid trying too hard to sound, sophisticated. bad.
Perchance.
But then when the drawings of the main characters showed up, that's what everyone latched
So there were
on
only
to.
3 people involved. So did all of them collectively worked on the writing and worked on
So
the,
one person, as I understand it, one person wrote down the writing, other person like drew some stuff up, and then they put it all together to be like, all right, here's what it is. We're looking for help. Let's make this
Got it.
game together.
Okay.
Someone
right.
another person was drawing like, here's what the world map is going to look like, and
Okay.
all the other stuff for that.
Yeah.
All right.
It does. It sounds like
And so
exactly what
here's-
you're describing though, where you do this stuff in high school, but then now
Yeah.
it's in the world stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the world stage. But then here's what was crazy about it, which was then this James, the guy who was the original artist for this stuff, tweeted. And he was like, hey, my mom was going through my old stuff and found the original drawing that I did, which is insane to me.
This is December 10th,
Yeah,
2019 of this past year.
Yeah, which is insane to me because if you think about it, it's like, could you imagine like if you could like pull up, I remember like some of the like movies I made in high school or some of the like I made like hypercard stacks for like projects. I was like, if I could see that again,
Yeah.
I would give anything to see
Matt,
like some of those.
could you
I bet a
could you
lot of
pull up
my
that
stuff is still
Cunard
pretty-
ebooks?
It's still pretty
tweet?
preserved. Because we did a documentary where I trained to be a professional wrestler, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
had
yeah,
I had done backyard wrestling,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
filmed it and done commentary and everything. I was like, I wonder if I can find that. And I like messaged my best friend from back home. He's like, yeah, I got the tapes. They're on mini,
DV.
not even pre-mini DV, the things you had to slide into a VHS adapter
Oh.
Yeah.
to make work.
VHSC.
So yeah, and so he's like, yeah, I think I got them somewhere, and so he
Whoa.
went to his mom's house, got them from their attic, and then got the
Wow.
stuff, and then sent it to me, and then I digitized it.
Man.
So like,
That's cool.
I do get to see it. So this is
Not a flattering shot of Johnny Five Aces. I'm just gonna say that.
There's
Got a
so
lot
much
of camel
to go.
toe.
Oh, there's so much to
Got a
talk
moose
about.
knuckle in there.
Yeah,
actually.
there's
So this-
everyone has a crotch bulge. If you'll notice, the table is lower than the chair.
yeah.
The angle of his elbow on his leg suggests that it was erased and redrawn for accuracy. He's holding a fifth ace. There's 4 aces on the table. He's holding the fifth ace, and he's somehow also flipping you off
He's
in the
cross-eyed.
same gesture.
Is he cross-eyed or this is just the sunglasses?
No apparent forehead. Smoking because it's cool. The beer is just clearly added in, and it's just like I remember drawing fists like that. I'm like, I don't know how it's supposed to. It's
Yeah.
just a thing,
Okay.
So on December 10th, this guy at Cooner to eBooks tweets this, and he says, I found these drawings, whatever, and it gets a lot of attention. So then he further tweets, lots of people saying that they want to buy this, so here you go. Hate to part with it, but I've got credit card debt, also student loan debt. Side note, don't need your whole life story, but okay. So I'll donate a big chunk of it to Bernie too. That's okay. So on December 17th,
Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
It definitely has that. So here's what's crazy about this, which is why people are flipping out. Gross Gammon, who is a third character, had never appeared up until this moment. So everyone's like, there's
Oh
a
my
third
God.
character that was designed that we have never seen up until this point.
oh
It was
my
him and
God.
Steampunk Schultz.
That's gross?
This is Gross Gammon. You're looking at definitely having a sort of Aqua Teen Hunger Force vibes.
Yeah.
Schultz.
Can you just show that they don't know what a cursive R is?
I see what
the
they're
G's the
trying to
hard
do.
one.
I see what they're trying to do.
Yeah, the
but-
G is the tough one, but they don't know that.
Oh, so good.
Wow.
It's close enough.
So yeah, obviously people are flipping out because they're like, Gross Gammon. It's like, it would be the equivalent of like.
this is setting us way back.
Yeah.
And I like when it's like it's people. It's Freddie and his brother.
Could you
I was
imagine-
gonna say, yeah.
Could you
it's
imagine?
funny.
I'm saying, like, could you imagine if there was another scene in All Your Base that everyone found next?
Or if
now.
Yeah, or if like there's another action sequence from Sucker Punch that just didn't make it into the movie.
Well, it's like when I was a kid and I recorded A League of Their Own on TV one night, but the recording stopped about 3/4 of the way through the movie. So for years, I only watched it to that point, and then it wasn't until about 5 years later that I saw the ending of League of Their Own, and I was like, oh my God, because I didn't even know that Kit left the team.
wow.
I
what
would-
did you think was the ending?
I mean, I just really,
It was just
enjoyed.
Rosie O'Donnell throwing 3 baseballs at Hitler, and then the movie
Well,
ended.
it's the kind of thing like when you recorded a movie off TV when you were a kid, and you didn't know until you watched it that it didn't
Yeah, you
record
didn't
the
get
whole
all of
thing.
it.
I guess
So I watched that to that point, and I was like, I really enjoyed that.
similar but different when Daft Punk did the anime music videos.
Oh yeah.
Where you went, those were so cool. And then,
Discovery.
on Discovery. And then years later, I was like, yeah, they only did those 2. It was crazy. Or 3. I guess they did 3. And then the guy I was working was like, oh, no, that was a movie.
Yeah.
And I went,
yeah.
Interstellar,
Oh,
9999999.
5555555.
I will
Here's the-
say,
and by the way, this is to me. It would be as if for me, it would be as if there was another GI Joe PSA.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
when those first came out, there was only like 5 that was on E-Bomb's World. And then everyone was like, oh, that must be it. But it's like, no, he did like 26 of them. And then it filtered out over the course of years, right? It was like, oh, there's
Yeah.
another one. And people were like passing them around, especially pre-YouTube where there wasn't like
Well,
a
yeah.
centralized way to find it.
in the pre-internet age, you could. I mean, sorry, in the post-internet age, you can just Google whatever. Like if you're interested in something, you just Google it. You find out everything that's connected tangentially to that thing, even in like just barely. But now we don't get to experience that, where it's just like
well, there was so
finding
much more
something.
mystery in video games and the internet. Like I remember all the rumors around N64 games. I was like, oh, my friend says that you can do this. And what was crazy, I grew up in Seattle. So when someone was like, my uncle works at Nintendo. Yeah, their uncle did work at Nintendo because they're like, that's where people like, it's Redmond. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I had friends whose uncles did in fact work at Nintendo.
It's a dolphin.
A
you
friend's
believe
uncle
me.
who worked at Nintendo got like our class in to be like, oh, let's do a tour of Nintendo for like a field trip. And we're like,
What?
so the idea of like people going like, oh yeah, like everyone says your uncle worked at Nintendo. I was always like, what do you mean? That's true. Oh, I guess that wouldn't be true if you didn't live
Yeah.
outside Seattle.
So when someone says Mario 2 isn't Mario 2,
Yeah.
it sounds like a rumor, but there's actually some substantiating evidence thanks to this guy's uncle.
Yeah.
We have videos here that we've made and cut that will never be seen.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the sake of fucking with people.
Only
2 words.
Only
stick
make a
fight.
wish.
Oh, yeah.
Only make a wish. We'll see him.
Stick fight. We got Destiny
No,
videos.
even them.
We got a lot of videos that just
Yeah.
never going to be seen ever.
There were some early internet stuff too. I
Maybe we'll sell them
remember.
on eBay.
There were a lot of like fan films I would just randomly find before certain search terms would flood the internet.
Right.
So I remember I typed in Metal Gear Solid 3, just curious. This is before it got announced. And there was this guy, I forget his name was like Alex Ruiz or something. And he made a fan film, and it was like Tommy was so entertaining level. Where I remember he did the Otacon or the codec phone call, and he kept going, "There's Charlies everywhere." I'm like, he doesn't know what Charlies are. So I remember just being like, is he fighting the Vietnamese?
Like, in Vietnam?
And then he's like, "Oh no, a Metal Gear," and it's ED209, but he got a 3D model somehow.
Oh,
and
whoa.
but it's like a student film. I was like, this is amazing. And I'd always go to his website, and we'd always watch it with friends. And then Snake Eater gets announced, and it's buried, and I can't find it to this day. And I'm just like,
what's crazy is Sam and Nico, the Quarter Digital guys, they were how I like kind of met them. I met them before I met them because we were all on this forum called Alam DV, which was like one of the early like how to do lightsabers plug-in like things pre After Effecks. After Effecks was around, but it was like a really quick way to do lightsabers and laser effects. So they were posting like they have a Metal Gear fan film and stuff on there, and I had seen it, and then like years later, we're like, wait, were you guys the ones who did this? And we were like going through it. It was like, oh my God, you guys did this one. And it was just like little stuff where it's like, oh my God, I stole like one of your assets. We used it in our movie. And it was like how a lot of that stuff met, which just doesn't feel like it happens anymore.
No.
You know? Anyway,
So
so
if it's popular,
Yeah.
it gets popular, and
It gets
then
popular.
everyone's seen it, and then it kind of moves
and everyone
on.
has a platform in which to put it on. Like,
Exactly.
like when your
And
friend
to
sent you
identify themselves.
when your friend sent you Homestar, you went, it's a website with cartoons.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
yeah.
And it was way ahead of anything else that was being made at the time. So
I mean, I'll argue still to this day, like the Homestar once a week, every Monday, it was like probably the original viral video thing. Everyone I knew in my class would just be all there on the computer.
Well, you have to watch it once, then you have to watch it again holding tabs.
That's right.
Find the secret
to see all the,
sauce.
yeah, to see all the buttons.
those crafty Mormons.
Well, Zybourne Clock. So this artwork, because Kunert eBooks wants to pay off their debt,
Yeah.
they decide to auction it off. This
Yeah.
is mid-December, and December
It's around the
17th.
time that Adam got that text.
It's
And
strange.
December 17th, the art is bought at auction, and we will learn who that lucky buyer is after a word from our sponsor, Quip. Quip, the makers of the Quip electric toothbrush, want you to know the one single discovery that matters most for your dental care, and that's establishing good habits and routines. That means brushing for 2 minutes twice a day and flossing regularly no matter what brand you use. Quip makes that simple, though, starting with an electric toothbrush, refillable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste. Quip's electric brush has sensitive sonic vibrations with a built-in timer and 30-second pulse to guide a full and even clean. The Quip floss dispenser comes with pre-marked string to help you use just enough. Plus, Quip delivers fresh brush head, floss, and toothpaste refills to your door every 3 months with free shipping, so your routine is always right. You can join over 3 million healthy mouths and get Quip today starting at $25. And if you go to getquip.com/dude right now, you'll get your first refill free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/dude. That's getquip.com/dude, DUDE. It's Quip, the good habits company. So head there right now. Thank you, Quip, for your sponsorship. But now back to the business at hand.
Oh, it's business.
So-
So shortly after that text, I thought he was joking. I checked. The eBay sale of that day was, I think it was at $4,000.
Now, here's the thing. I fully realize that, most of the time whenever there's a news story about an eBay thing, it's like people are like, it's people like shit posting. It's not really up there. The price it was at was $4,420.69. Of course, this is a joke bid.
Yeah.
4,420.69. Like, come on. So, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna back up for a second. I think this guy deserves it. This guy deserves this and I do think this is an honestly important like piece of internet history. And I think that the guy like he has brought, I think, more entertainment to more people. Like I remember very distinctly thinking like if you can look at the banana thing on the wall and be like, all right, that's 150. We're valuing it as such. I'm like, what is the value of a person to be one of the first people to get ridiculed by like a collective of the internet, right? And get referenced in what Video Game Sense to be entertaining for a decade? Like, what's that worth to you? Certainly.
When you had this conversation, was
With
it
myself.
by a riverside and you were turning and then referring to it as precious?
Oh yeah.
Was there anybody that in your life, friends or family, that you like told this to and you felt like you could really
I got
share a
into
moment
a
with?
very deep discussion with it with my friend Will, who's
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, also
okay.
on Story Break, because he also
Yeah.
was a forums goon.
Yeah,
from
I
way
believe
back
that
in
of
the
Will.
day. And we were talking about like because I was there and I also felt like a bit it's weird, but I felt like a bit of ownership because so many people who have come to it after the fact, who because Awful Forums was an interesting place because you had to pay $10 to get an account unless you were like a really old account, which was one that I had. But then every time they banned you, you just lose the money. So people would pay money to get back into it, which caused this really weird, and it hasn't really been like a community like this since, where people would go in and it'd be like performative dunking on people because getting banned, you would pay money to kind of duke it out in this space, which is like most places it's like, no. Could you imagine being like, oh, if you want to have a Reddit account, you have to pay $10. And if you get banned, that $10 is gone. You have to pay another $10, you idiot. Like insane.
Maybe
it
roosterteeth.com.
sounds necessary.
Get
I
those
mean,
forums going.
It sounds like a good way to prevent people from just wasting everyone else's
But
time.
what's crazy is you still get trolls. But then the trolls, because they know that $10 is on the line, they have to be good. They have to be really performative. And again, it's like the playbook for how people troll each other was written on the Awful Forum. So I felt this ownership because I'm like, I was there for the original thread. I remember refreshing it and laughing my ass off over it. So I'm like, all right. I mean,
So
like,
it meant something to you.
it really did mean something to me.
All right.
And
Well,
so on December 17th, 2019, YouTube and internet sensation Freddie Wong purchased the Zybourne Clock at the drawings at auction for. Do you want to?
It's 51, I believe, right?
51. You don't even know. Wow. That, I mean, what does that say? Yes, it was 50. Yes.
Lunch money, he says.
Yeah, I know. Whatever change he found in
70
his
bids.
Now I want to be clear.
his tuxedo pockets.
I want to make a video for it, obviously, and do a thing around it. So it's not just like I want to, just spend recklessly. There's
So
a thought behind
Were
it.
technically,
you-
you own the rights to it now
true.
as well.
Were you awake at 5:19 a.m.?
So here's what's
to-
no, I was actually going to be on a plane. I was, my family was we were all going to go on a little vacation. And so I was like, it was ending like I was on a plane. So I didn't even know I had gotten it. I was like, I'm just going to put a bid in. And just when I land in Australia, I'll find out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you
So did you do one bid? You just were like going for it, or did you have to
My
competitively
gut,
bid for a
no,
little
I
bit?
don't think so. Because what happened was, again, this is minutia, but it was very clear that the moment I did it like a test bid to be like, all right, who's actually caring? And then you could see people drop out because they were doing joke bids. So it's like, I was like, okay, it doesn't seem like many people are fighting hard for this one. So it turns out, yeah.
Well, I was under the impression he was going to come with it in either in a binder or just fold it up in his pocket and go here. But no, you
brought it.
actually
brought it. I
you
went to
brought
my
it.
framer and I got it and I have it now here.
That's beautiful.
That's
Zybourne
great.
Clock
We
art.
tilt it more.
Framed museum quality glass, tastefully float frame. I also
float-
preserved like the folds
it's
Oh,
and
wow.
stuff in it. And again, I guess I'll put it on the table. But here's what's
A
incredible
lot of
about
free
it.
time.
There's more stuff in here.
Really?
There's a face by Gross Gammon's foot. Perhaps a previously aborted attempt at Schultz. Like, what could it mean? There's depth even within the art.
You could theoretically. I mean, I don't want you to compromise the integrity of the thing, but like if you could
of the 8.5
if you
11
could
piece of paper.
do that whole
there.
stenciling thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you could get,
yeah.
you could maybe find other
Clues
previous
in there,
sketches
yeah.
that
Oh.
were laid on
Oh
top.
yeah. This is again.
And you haven't been shy about sharing your admiration for this piece. When you bought this, you tweeted, I bought the Johnny Five Aces. Oh, my computer went to sleep. Like it almost didn't want to be read. You tweeted, I bought the Johnny Five Aces art. I genuinely believe it is pure art
pure art.
and an incredibly important artifact of internet culture. As its steward,
Yep.
I will protect and treasure it forever. You elaborated saying,
You know, people like that tweet
idea-
because there's a lot of likes on
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but then people like the other tweet where I talked
Yeah.
about Avatar
Well,
a lot, so Twitter doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You said the idea of the Zybourne clock is an order of magnitude more impactful and powerful than the idea of a banana taped to a wall. That art is bullshit. Johnny
Okay.
Five Aces is true art.
Nice.
Okay. I mean, sometimes it's not always the art itself, but it's what the art represents, especially because it does seem to have a special place in your heart.
I think it should have a special place in all of our hearts. We don't exist being like comedians on the internet without the primordial soup from which this is born from.
I
fair.
agree.
I do
This is
strongly
early
believe
meme
that.
culture.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird,
and
but
I
it's
love-
beautiful.
What did it smell like when it arrived? How was it sent to you?
He sent it in like in just like a
Like
you
a
know,
poster tube?
No, actually,
wow.
just like a
Okay.
flat envelope, and then it was in you remember those binders, the plastic sleeves?
Oh, yeah.
You just put it in the plastic.
That's what I
sleeve.
like
Yeah.
because when you receive it from the artist, you can see what it meant to the artist based on how you receive it,
Yeah.
and it just crumpled in the bottom of a flat rate box.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but he also, before he sent it to you, he took it somewhere and
Oh,
he
yeah,
had
yeah,
it
yeah.
copied and blown up.
Fully fine with that.
So he's, yeah.
Devaluing it.
No.
No, I'm just
no.
kidding.
No. Let's see. I
The original is always
I
the
got
original.
the Mona Lisa.
Mhm.
Everyone else is just taking most of the
you
Mona
Looking
Lisa.
scans, yeah.
Do you think someday this will be restored by an old woman with bad eyesight who
only.
ruins it
It's gonna
completely?
look great.
Only.
It starts like restored Jesus, but then it becomes actually good
You're
Jesus.
just like, wow, this is a new thing, and brings tourism to a small
This-
town in Spain.
The most shocking thing about all of this is that there are still auctions happening on eBay.
I thought, that was funny because I was like, eBay. Let me see if I have an account on eBay. It turns out I did because I bought like some random thing like 10 years ago. I was like, my eBay account's
Is it
still
good-
valid.
Is it like a DDR mat or something that you needed?
Yeah, well, I forgot. Yeah, eBay's funny though because there's like definitely there's like a weird eBay settled into the weird place where you're like there's very specific stuff on eBay that was like because I'm in like guitar pedal, like I'm in the guitar pedals, and people are like, oh yeah, you can buy like these weird transistors on eBay, and like that's about it. You're like, oh okay, all right, I guess eBay is good for something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It arrives, you take it, it's precious to you. You go to sleep
So I go
that
straight
night.
to the framer.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
I was gonna
So I have
say
a framer that I really like. I've done for like just to get a nice poster or movie.
And
poster.
you don't got to go to work or
Well,
nothing.
This is work as far as I'm concerned.
At any point after it arrived, did you look out the window and say, "How am I going to get out of here without the press swarming me?"
Well, yeah, I had to go straight to the underground garage of my Netflix
Yeah,
mansion. Yeah. But it was funny because I walked into the framer and someone on the Awful Forums posted this. I thought it was really funny. They're like, if the framer didn't ask you about this, it's probably because they thought that it's like for some like 10-year-old kid who died.
Yeah.
So I
My
go into the
son.
framer and they're like, oh, what is this? Because this is, again, not exactly, it's 8.5 and 11 printer paper and pencil on that. So not exactly the most, preservation sort of focused medium. And I was just explaining the whole thing to this guy. And the guy was just like, cool, man. Oh, it's like an internet thing. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
Yeah.
That'll be
$50,
That'll be
please.
$25.
yeah. People could care less, but doesn't matter. Great art is rarely appreciated in its time.
Where will it hang? Where will it live? Just in your
I'm
office?
still finding
or your...
a spot. Still
Okay.
finding a spot. I'm definitely going to do the little like light on it and then a little museum
Oh,
placard
wow.
sort
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing
That's
on the
really
side.
good.
to
I
sort of
mean
explain
this in the
context.
best way, but I hope someone breaks in and steals it. I hope all your other valuable belongings are left.
I mean, look,
This is-
everybody wants to be part of a cool heist. And I feel like I'm putting myself out there by being like, I have this incredibly.
You're
The last
taunting
time
us.
we were here, we came up with that heist movie.
Yeah, the
That's
horse
true,
semen
yeah.
heist movie.
And you made a reference to the Mona Lisa, and I think that's actually pretty comparable, only because Mona Lisa is only famous for being stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's what made it more famous.
Well,
No one even heard about it or cared until it was
interesting.
gone.
Maybe we'll get to this and more after the break from our next sponsor, because after our sponsor, we're doing a live reading from some of the only remaining
The
scripts
ur-texts.
from the Zybourne Clock.
Oh.
And then we're also going to talk about the future of the Zybourne Clock and really how this can transcend into other media. But first, a word from our sponsor, ExpressVPN. Okay, so we all know how a VPN protects your privacy and security online. It can also take your TV watching game to the next level. That's right, you can use a VPN to unlock movies and shows that are only available in other countries. You can use ExpressVPN to binge shows like Doctor Who on UK Netflix or Rick and Morty on France Netflix. It's so simple. Just fire up the ExpressVPN app, change your location, refresh Netflix, and that's it. ExpressVPN hides your IP address and lets you control where you want sites to think you're located. You can choose from almost 100 different countries, so just think about all the Netflix libraries you can go through. If you love anime, you can use ExpressVPN to access Japanese Netflix and be spirited away. But it's not just Netflix. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service, so Hulu, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, you name it. There are hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason I use ExpressVPN to watch shows is it's ridiculously fast. There's never any buffering or lag, and you can stream in HD no problem. ExpressVPN is also compatible with all your devices. That's phones, media consoles, smart TVs, and more, so you can watch what you want on the go or on the big screen wherever you are. If you visit our special link right now, expressvpn.com/dude, you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. So support the show and watch what you want at the same time and protect yourself at expressvpn.com/dude. That's vpn.com/dude, D-U-D-E. Thank you, ExpressVPN, for your sponsorship. Hopefully someday we'll be watching stories about the Zybourne Clock using our ExpressVPN, but maybe we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, I did a little bit of, I don't want to say
Googling?
digging because it's right
It's right
there.
there,
yeah.
yeah.
Googling. But
Don't worry about that.
They've been
Just,
demolishing this building for weeks.
big rats. And I found an excerpt from the script
It's a
of
motorcycle. We have a Harley Davidson factory.
From the
that
script
is
of,
right up- we share a wall.
we
with
sell
the Harley
these.
the
Davidson
Zybourne. This is from the prelude
Oh.
of the script.
So this-
factory. You got to be
is-
more specific. What is a prelude?
Yeah.
Prelude to what?
Yeah.
What?
to the game.
But
I
the
don't
game.
know.
So this is something they released.
yeah, I guess
The
so.
guys who are making the game released this.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is what the prelude.
Yeah,
would
this
be.
was supposed to be an actual script for the gameplay. Rough draft, not for public consumption.
Did you add that or did
I
they?
know
have
they
that?
added it.
Okay.
So today, Adam will be doing the narration. Freddie will be playing man,
Mhm.
and James will be playing girl.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we know anything about the girl? She's not depicted there.
No, she is not in the art. Freddie, you know anything
No,
about
no,
the
no.
girl?
So
No,
this
no.
is the narrator would be like a steampunk type narrator. I don't know what that
steampunk.
means.
I guess this is never performed. I should say never performed live
That we are aware of.
that we
Okay.
are aware of. Yeah.
Well, I'll just give it a read then.
Okay. Zybourne Clock from the top.
The prelude.
prelude.
Yeah.
All right. At the end of a long room filled with whispers and handshakes sits a man fondling a small dark object. The ancient wooden benches along the room's perimeter are full, mostly of women and children, leaving the men to mingle. The man sits firmly, avoiding eye contact. Wait, offering,
I
avoiding.
didn't. This is just.
I'll read that again. Sorry.
You got it. I
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
no, I
You
just-
nailed it. You nailed it.
The man sits firmly, avoiding eye contact, which could be misinterpreted as an offer of his seat.
A little repetitive, but
I think he meant often avoiding eye contact.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He clutches the object nervously, though through a forest of arms.
Forrest
legs-
spelled like Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Through a forest of arms, legs, and coattails, a small child wanders towards the man, drawn by curious. Fuck
It's
me.
making you stupid.
I know. I'm
it's curious.
I'm trying to read ahead. But yeah.
Curiosity.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's really pulling you in. I know.
Drawn by curiosity and free.
Pronounce it as it's spelled, please.
I know.
Curiosity.
Drawn by curiosity and free of her unattentive mother's eye.
What you got there, mister?
Queries the girl. He pauses for a moment, considering plots which might have employed his child as a spy, paid in food to inquire. Exhausted and drawn to the child's innocence, the walls of secrecy melt for a moment.
This, my darling, is a device. A device many men and many women have died to see, to understand, and to own. In many ways, it's like one of your toys, but a toy for adults. This, darling, is the Zybourne Clock.
Suddenly.
Sorry, too good? Was that
That
too
was really
good?
good.
Or I can do it
I
again?
want to hear more of that character. Suddenly, barely visible in the dim light, the child's eyes change. The hazelnut brown tones are ungluing. Oh, yeah, sorry. The hazelnut brown tones are ungluing until silver, melting into swirls of pearl and mechanical shades. Her body loses its shy posture and rapidly conforms to a rigid, upright stance. Her mouth opens slightly, and with programmed precision, she moves her wrist slowly towards her tiny lips.
Orange fox to Deetris. Orange fox to Deetris. The golden egg has been located. I repeat, we've got it. Over.
Frozen with guilt, the man slowly begins to run through the crowd. The girl screams
Rape! Rape! He tried to touch me! Help!
for Dick McLaurin.
Dirk McLaren.
McLaurin. For Dirk McLaurin. Wednesday, January.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, January 19th. January 19, 2381 has begun very poorly.
2381.
What?
Wow, that's so far in the
intro.
future that we can't even imagine it.
What an intro.
Dirk McLaurin.
Dirk McLaurin.
Dirk
is
McLaurin.
our
Get
hero.
it
The
right.
keeper of the
Wow.
Zybourne Clock.
That name was
Wow.
written to be pronounced hard. Sorry, my brain fucking hurts. That was my first time reading that, by the way.
So none of the characters here.
No, this is the prelude. So clearly
So
it
we
gets
haven't
into,
met-
yeah.
I mean, now you have questions.
Now you got questions. Just
I
like
just
a
want to
good-
pose a quick game.
Okay.
a casting game. We've been tasked to make the Zybourne Clock film.
So that's what I was going to get to.
Oh, well then go
Which
ahead.
is because our friend Freddie,
Yeah.
he has a podcast called Story Break where
And we did actually.
Did you do the Zybourne Clock?
So
No.
this is how I heard about it, because a couple of years ago, we did Zybourne Clock as just one of the things, and we broke a story for it.
I didn't hear that one.
And then someone literally tweeted at us at Storybreak being like, guys, it's,
Oh, no way.
it resurfaced. So we're like, oh, we have to.
okay, that's great.
This,
Well,
this
then-
could be the dark tower of the internet,
yeah,
where it's just
yeah.
it's always going through
Then
different
we'll-
production
Did I ever
companies.
tell you my Dark Tower story?
No, what happened?
Did I not tell
Did you
guys
find
my
it?
Dark Tower story?
Oh.
Did I not do it on this podcast?
I don't think so. Well, first, I should say that
I'm gonna dangle
people
that.
should go listen to your Zybourne Clock Story
Yes,
Break thing. 'Cause I'm
please.
sure it's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And before you tell us your Dark Tower story, did you make a story about the people making Zybourne
No,
Clock,
no.
or did you
it's
make
in the universe?
okay.
Yeah, in universe.
Well,
Okay,
everything's
so-
in universe.
Everything's in universe.
So technically,
Everything's
even the story of them making.
But
the
tell
game.
us your Dark Tower story.
Okay, so this was, and it's been enough years that I feel comfortable telling this now. So one of the first things we're doing YouTube channel, and we're like kind of starting to blow up in that first year. We're like, oh, cool, man! Like people are seeing it. We're doing cool action stuff, and then we got a call, and they're like, hey, Imagine Entertainment wants to meet with you. Imagine Entertainment is like Ron Howard's production company.
Oh.
They're like, whoa, real Hollywood production company wants to meet with us. Hell yeah, let's go. So we go and we sit down in this room. We're like, what? Oh, we don't even know what it's about. Like, what are you talking about? So this lady comes in. They're talking about like, so you guys, are you familiar with the Stephen King Dark Tower series? And we're like, oh yeah. Like, well, so we want to do it. And they kind of laid out the plan that is now sort of publicly known, which is they want to do like a TV thing and a movie thing, and they want to kind of bounce back and forth between that. And they sort of laid it out. So they had that like planned out for a while. I'm like, oh man, what could they possibly want to be talking to us for? And they're like, and obviously, as you know, the Dark Tower series has a lot of references to other Stephen King novels and pop culture and stuff like that. We're like, yeah. Like, we need someone to like, who's like kind of internet savvy, which you guys seem to be, to like make a compendium of all the references that are in the books. We're like, oh, okay. So what does that mean? Like research what everything like is, and like make like a Bible that the people who are going to run the show and direct the show can look at. And we're like, okay. And like, yeah, so does that sound interesting? We're like, we make, what?
Yeah.
What part
It seems
of
like
it?
you would want a Stephen King.
Yeah.
They were just like, you're
specialist.
nerds.
Yeah, they're like, literally
Yeah.
it was that. There was like,
How'd you like to be a secretary for a day? Like,
yeah, it's like, how would you like to not do your thing, your dumb internet shit, and
Yeah.
research this real thing and do this for a
Yeah.
year? We're
That's
like, no,
incredible.
yeah.
So when you accepted, what?
So we were that. So that's why. So I've been still doing it. Yeah, I was like, and I remember that I was like, wow. I think that was maybe a good early portent of like, oh, Hollywood's not gonna give a shit about the dumb
Right.
stuff we do on the
Well,
internet.
because I mean, in the Wolves of Kala, it's like, and then the horse riders who looked like Doctor Doom and had lightsabers from Star Wars, and then the Golden Cinch from Harry Potter came to the farm. It's like, it's those things.
yeah, no, exactly.
The
It's just
book
like-
says what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
One of the many
Bizarre.
gigs, just road less traveled,
man.
A
a
tower
shame.
less climbed.
tower less climbed.
I mean, that series is also just that is a mess to walk into because
It's a tough one.
Is
Like,
any-
yeah.
Sorry, side
No,
note.
go ahead.
But
No, it's fine.
anybody watching The Outsider on HBO, the Stephen King?
no.
Oh, it's
Wow,
great. It's
you
good.
should.
Real good.
I still have to watch Chernobyl. I'm behind.
Whoa.
Not related to Stephen King, but okay.
No, I'm just saying you said HBO, so I'm just like I'm trying to
Yeah.
get through the HBO things. But yeah, Dark Tower is a bummer because it's like it's a weird, rich world that you can mess around with, and it's got kind of the Lord of the Rings element to it and the Wild West. But
Yeah.
I just
It's
like
a tough one.
But once it gets to Wolves of Kala, then it's like, what are we making?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
do we change? Do we just pretend he didn't get hit by the van, and then we try to get into the headspace of what Stephen King would have wrote had he not been hit by the van?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know that story, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing where he's like, some woman asks him like, oh, she's on her deathbed. She's like, can you tell me the ending? And he's like, I don't know it yet. Like, it'll come to me. And she's like, oh, that's a shame. and he's like, I just
Word.
write it. He's like,
Blew my make a wish.
he's like, because he wrote it like years apart. It was a very like a
Yeah.
George R. Martin kind of thing. And then he's like, well, I'm going to cross this street, and gets hit by a van. He's like, shit, I almost died. I better get these books out before it's over. And then it's like, people are like, well, they feel a little rushed,
Yeah.
like
It
it
didn't
makes
feel like
sense.
It came out naturally.
Yeah. So I don't know. Big fan. Love it.
Well,
So
I
the
didn't.
person driving the van ruined.
Dark Tower.
That's his real crime. His true crime.
Yeah.
is not hitting Stephen King.
And then, funny. And then Stephen King lives another 55 years.
Yeah,
It's just like, I could write more Dark
He's
Tower.
got a great dog. So I didn't know that you guys did Zybourne Clock on. That's my bad.
No,
on
that's all
Story
good.
Break.
We got a lot of episodes of that podcast.
Yeah, it's great. Well, because you said who would we cast? Did you guys cast?
I don't think we did. No, we can talk about
So
casting.
we can talk about that.
We'll
I was gonna say like because there's
we have the concept art.
yeah,
right
we
here.
have
that's the show Bible. Because I feel like there are two ways that you can approach it. Is you can do it from the like what's the actual plot and movie of the game, or like what's the game story, or you can do the meta thing where it's like the story of
The making.
the making
of the making
it. Yeah.
of Zybourne Clock and get into like your
The fun thing about doing the movie, which I will say is this, is someone also, another piece of official art they came out with was a timeline thing, because the Zybourne Clock has a time travel thing. So there's literally like, it looks like, have you seen those like graphics of like, here's Primer explained.
Yeah,
it's like a
right.
version of that where
Nice.
like timeline 2 happens, and at this point the timelines diverge, and we go into timeline 3, which happens before the Zybourne Clock is destroyed. And you're just like, what are we talking about? Like,
How come in this timeline the footage is grainy? Because they didn't have the camera that day.
What does it mean?
Well, I think that's fun. I'm thinking what's the name of that movie? The Jared Hess follow up to Nacho Libre that no one liked, but has some hilarious
Gentlemen Broncos.
Gentlemen Broncos.
Gentlemen Broncos.
How half the movie is the story of this kid who's getting his work stolen by Jermaine Clement, and the other half is just watching Sam Rockwell be the main character. Have you seen this movie?
no, I don't think I have.
It's
really good.
not good. It's
I thought it was
less
great.
than the sum of its parts,
I thought it was a great movie.
but it's got some of the best stuff in it. Like
Ines.
some of the best stuff there. Yeah,
Ines.
Jermaine Clement is a science fiction fantasy writer, but like very commercial career
Yeah.
fantasy writer, and he does like lectures on how to do
Oh, I see.
sci-fi fantasy novels. There's an amazing scene about like how to
Naming
name your
conventions.
characters,
Yeah.
like and you should just watch
Okay,
it. But
no, I
The
will.
whole movie is
But-
like the aesthetic is used bookshop in Old Town Pasadena. They somehow
interesting.
took that on a mood board and said, make a town look like
Yeah.
this.
Oh, that's
Everything
cool.
feels like it's healing crystals and jean vests. Like
Ooh, that's
it's
cool. I
It's
like that.
But like James was saying too, like in the movie, they have moments where they're reading the book, but they have like a movie adaptation
I see.
of
see.
it, but it's just in their imagination. And
I
then-
see.
So you see the kid's original version where like Sam Rockwell's awesome, and then the
Well, but
author-
it'll just start showing you Sam Rockwell, and he'll be like, he's like, I have to get out of here, and he'll like free himself from this castle, and he runs out of the castle, and then he approaches a lake of eyes, and he's like, oh, how am I gonna get across this lake of eyes and stuff? And you realize it's all just this,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
some kid's scribblings of nonsense or whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what the Zybourne Clock movie could be. It's a 50-50. Anyway, Taylor Kitsch, I say we give him another shot.
yeah,
Johnny
yeah.
Five Aces.
Oh, I thought we just
Schultz definitely
yeah.
feels like oh my gosh.
Is it the Dune kid?
No, the guy from oh my god, I'm blanking on it.
Uh-oh.
Tarantino movie.
The guy from Tarantino movie.
Oh my god.
Which
Christoph
Michael
Waltz.
Madsen.
Christoph
Oh,
Waltz.
Christoph
okay.
Waltz is Steampunk Schultz.
Schultz.
He already plays Schultz.
Yeah,
He does
in
play Schultz. I know
Django.
exactly.
That feels like typecasting.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
okay.
it
That's how
is.
casting works.
Okay.
That is how casting works. I hate to break it to you, but that's exactly what it is. When they cast someone, you're just like, what type of person is it? And they type them in.
I want a Joaquin Phoenix type, a Joaquin Phoenix.
I could definitely see
Fat
Johnny
Christian Bale.
as I definitely Fat Christian Bale. Although he said he quit, Fat Christian Bale for Girl Scammon, and definitely I could see a Joaquin Phoenix as a
Ooh,
Johnny.
Johnny
You know what I
Five
mean?
Aces.
Do you think they have to do a prosthetic to kind of like lower the forehead or what?
It's a shame Keanu Reeves isn't Cyberpunk because he could be a Johnny Five Aces type.
Like he was the role he was born.
Well,
to play.
don't
Yeah.
forget, there's also
Dirk
McLaurin and Girl.
The girl will be Dakota Fanning, even though she's like 30 now.
Okay, all right.
You got that robot, like the robot transformation is definitely part of it.
Okay.
Maybe Jason Schwartz for Dirk McLaurin.
Well, I mean, we want this to be
Or-
a midsummer blockbuster, and
Yeah,
as
Jason
much as I
Schwartz.
like Jason
Okay.
Schwartz, he's like
He's an
that's-
indie darling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indie darling. No, you can't have an indie
sorry.
movie.
No,
I know. No. This is
This is this is John Carter of Mars, like $300 million.
Right.
I'm going to say Dwayne the Rock Johnson
as who?
as Dirk McLaurin.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, we can only get him for a day.
That's fine.
That's all you
Okay.
need.
All right.
That's all you need. You
Just
think
for
the day began poorly for
Yeah.
him, it's not going to go well.
Okay, he cost $30 million.
Yeah, we got him.
He won't tweet
He will tweet. He always tweets about all his movies, no matter
because they
what
pay
they're-
him. $1 million per
He'd have
tweet.
to put hashtag ad if that was part of it.
You wish.
He would.
Yeah.
You think the celebrities are not flaunting the FCC? They already flaunt all the rules of
It's
society.
because he's an EP on everything, so
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it gets
He's
very
like, no,
buried.
it's not in my contract, but whatever, I'm going to do it.
What about Adam Driver as Johnny Five Aces?
oh my God, you're right.
That's a
That's
good
it.
one.
Yeah, no, you
He's
nailed
so-
it. That is
he's so
100%
huge right now.
Johnny is Adam Driver. I feel like I've seen
Adam, can you do your Adam Driver?
Oh, I need
I
a,
got
I,
five
I need a line.
aces.
I need a line from Johnny of Five Aces. What was his line say?
How many aces do you have?
How many
I've got
aces
five.
do you have?
I've got 5.
I've got 5.
Johnny.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. Listen, Ray. I have
Johnny
5 aces.
Five Aces quotes. Let's see, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot coming up here.
Go wiki quote.
I'm telling you, how many aces do you have?
Yeah, how
I've
many
got
aces do you
5.
have? I have 5.
That's pretty good.
Oh, here's some.
Whoa, is that an animated?
This is fan fiction. Johnny Five Aces powered down the Magna bike with a not quite unhearable hum and checked his chronometer. Damn, he hissed through his clenched teeth, which were surrounded by the stubble of 5 days wherein he had not shaven himself at all. It was almost chromodawn at Clash Point. Already, the sun was sitting Walston's hill ablaze like so much molten metal or a coin gyrating in the air, tossing there by the uncaring hand of an imaginary god that doesn't exist, born from the interior minds of the hobble masses.
All these words are spelled wrong, by the way. So I don't know how her brain is fixing them.
Look, sometimes when the mind is going and the fingers can't keep up, you just go.
He lit a Nikasheen brand swaggerette and took a dip drag, sinking farther into his inferior
So
horolog.
this is to me. This
He
is to
thought
me
of Nina
not
and
trying
her
too hard.
mellifluous buttocks that he used to love to bang. Even now, his nano-enhanced hearing could almost hear her vagina lips quivering with moisture
It
and
becomes
also
porn at a
pleasure,
certain point.
like a slice
Wow,
of
we've already
synth
got
ham
Rule 34.
being tongued by one of Malaprop's slam hounds. So I like slam hound. When he got back to City 5, he was going to do some sex, no doubt about that.
Okay, so now it's just becoming a joke.
Yeah.
See,
I
Yeah.
wish they.
it's not
I
the
wish they
same.
would take this
It's
seriously.
not the same.
There's an animation.
Oh my God. I don't know how to turn this. Oh.
Oh yeah. So people
great.
figure it out very
This
quickly.
podcast is just for us now. Sorry, viewers.
Oh, I like the Zybourne Clock logo in the style
Final Fantasy, yeah.
Final Fantasy 8.
Just so you know, in that context, 5 aces is one word surname.
Yeah. That's it. That is the surname.
That's the
Johnny
formal.
5 Aces.
Man,
Yeah.
oh, we've
His
been
father,
deprived
Senior
of so
5
much.
Aces. Oh.
Yeah. So again, if you haven't dove into it, it is a wealth of very good sort of internet prehistory.
But now you own the rights to it, or don't. Who cares?
Yeah.
I think I just got a piece of the art, but you know what?
Can we kickstart that? Is that because I know you guys can't just
feel
go?
like someone has tried to kickstart a short film with it, and again, it's it's a little bit too niche.
I think your enthusiasm is infectious, and I think if it's you're the one.
You know what doesn't get Kickstarter dollars is infectious enthusiasm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want you to go talk to the Imagine Entertainment people and go like, I know you don't remember me, but and they're like, actually we do. The Zybourne Clock, get out.
Did you finish that compendium? We're still making money on that.
We see what happened was in Pet Cemetery we'd put a sign in
Yeah.
for the other one, Dark Tower.
Here's $100,000.
Thank you.
Well, any final thoughts on the Zybourne Clock?
For now,
I'm
fun.
glad it exists. I'm very happy that that the guide's mom found his stuff and like dug it up, or he dug it up and found it. And yeah, I don't know. I think the more people sort of know about it, I think again, I just wish that there was more of this stuff just to look back at. And because again, I think a lot of where we are right now has its roots in where we were back then.
This is gonna sound controversial, but I think stuff like this in a frame, like it's one of a kind and it's important to you, is better than yet another Sailor Moon wall scroll. You know, like in terms of putting art. I have a prized possession like that as well that I haven't even gotten framed. I need to get it framed. I haven't gotten framed yet, but as I've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
Billy Zane did a piece of original art for me.
Whoa.
He had a thing going where he was trying to raise money for charity, so that way
Whoa.
you could basically send him something and he would sketch
Billy
it.
Zane?
And so I got
like
Billy
the
Zane.
Mummy. Billy's like not the Mummy. Sorry,
No, he's not
Titanic, right?
Yeah, Titanic,
Yeah,
Phantom.
Titan-
Yeah.
Oh my God, the
So,
Phantom, that's
so
right.
I got him to do a piece of original art for me that
Oh,
I have, but I
man.
haven't figured out what to do with it yet. But that's my. But I'm like, I have this. There's one of these.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me because A, Billy Zane.
Yeah.
And 2, the subject matter of the art, my bareness. Not really, but
Right. But
I
currently
was
it's being used to balance your kitchen table or something, right? Like it's just, I don't know.
No, it's in
a
a
door
poster.
stopper.
It's in a poster too, but
okay.
like, cause it's literally like sketch paper, like when an artist just like does their initial
Just a quick
sketch or
one.
wow, and then
Yeah.
slid it off to do the thousands of other
Sure,
requests.
sure.
I'm
And
sure,
he
but-
signs it, not the mummy.
yeah.
Not parentheses, not from the mummy.
But I know that someday I will get that framed, and I'm going to put it in like the most important place that I can find.
You will rent a house
Yeah.
just to put the art up.
Yeah. It's like in
smart.
Breath of the Wild when you hang your shields or whatever. It's going to be the only.
What about
thing
you,
in the house.
AK-47? What kind of art do you got?
Man, I bought an Epcot poster.
Oh wow!
No, I mean the art I buy is typically
Like not the wall scrolls and body pillows.
well, those I mean the body pillows they go in a different room.
That's true.
Yes, the solarium where all can see. Now, I've been going to like art shows like Designer Con and
Yeah.
those sorts of things, and I like buying art directly from the artist.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though I know it's a print or
Sure,
something
sure,
that they
There's
did.
1,000 of them.
Yeah, but my whole thing has just been buying art from people whose stuff I legitimately enjoy. So like
Yeah.
I have this is the most weird piece of art that I
Yes,
have
perfect.
is a BioShock 2
Okay.
piece of like post-release game art done by Yonan Vasquez from Invader Zim fame. And he signed it. And it means a lot to me because one of the first years one of the earlier years I went to Comic-Con, he was there signing and I just had a badge and he kind of gave me a look like, ugh,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it's all you got. And I have no money. I'm just a huge fan. And as years went by, I bought every comic of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and I Feel Sick and Squee and everything and still love Invader Zim. Years later, he was at the BioShock thing, signed it, had the biggest smile on his face. He goes, enjoy this. And I was like, I always remember that moment. So that piece of art means something to me.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I've had times where I've met artists over the years that I've admired. I honestly don't buy as much art anymore just because I don't have places to hang it. The last thing I got, it's sitting in a frame and probably will never get hung, which is like a Mondo Dark Crystal poster. Because I was like, this poster's so awesome. But yeah, it is that place where I'm like, I just don't have wall space to hang stuff anymore. But oh my God, her name's escaping me now. But Kate, what is it? Kate did like Hello Pops and man, what's her name?
She's the one who did the art?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've seen that Dark Crystal one before. It's a shame everything is
I
so
shared it
ugly
on social media.
on
What's her
it.
name? Oh,
Yeah.
Kate Beaton. That does like Hark of
yeah,
Acre
Hark
and
of
stuff.
Acre.
I met her in like 2012 and I was pretty excited to meet
I
her.
said, go do it. Go do it. And you're like, nah, go do it. And then she did it.
Well, I did. And then she made a little note because I bought a calendar from her. She made a little note on a date about John Diefenbach.
I think I say Johnny Five Aces.
It came full circle.
Yeah, she made a little, well, after the break, we're gonna get into a little game that we've played here on the show before IATA. But before we do, it's time for a read from our sponsor, Indochino. Which Adam, take it away.
Wearing a suit can make you feel like $1 million, but you know what? There's no reason to spend that much on something you like to wear to fancy parties or, a cocktail hour. And that's where Indochino comes in. For me, wearing a suit makes me feel like a super spy or, at the very least, the brother of some sort of super spy. And so I personally went to an Indochino store and went through the entire fitting process, and it was a breeze. Super simple. I just went to one of their many fitting rooms. I picked out the fit, color, and my cut of suit, and they took care of the rest. Pretty simple. They also had some rockin' tunes. I very much enjoyed that. So with Indochino, it's all about you. Choose from hundreds of high-quality suit fabrics to pick the color, pattern, and weight you like best. Your suit is made to your exact measurements, so you end up with the perfect fit for the shape of your body. Indochino also sells custom shirts, coats, and chinos, those are pants, so you can get a full custom wardrobe. So right now, get an extra $30 off any purchase of $399 or more at Indochino.com when entering DUDE at checkout. That's DUDE. Plus, shipping is free. That's Indochino.com, promo code DUDE for $30 off your total purchase of $399 or more. High-quality custom suits for an off-the-rack price. Thank you, Indochino.
So yeah, we're Zybourne Clock. now I guess
I'm bought in. You sold me on it.
get
Your
it.
infectious
You get it, right?
enthusiasm.
You get
has
it. You
given
get it.
me
Same
the
wavelength.
flu of excitement.
I'll make a cameo as a stormtrooper or whatever they do these days.
But yeah, thanks for bringing
More
that.
steampunk, more steampunk.
I know you don't usually like to take it out in the sunlight.
No,
so-
yeah, the UV rays are really not good for the 8.5 by 11 Costco Office Depot printer paper. So
There's a game we've played here on the show before, and I don't think you've done it yet, Freddie, but it's called Am I the Asshole? And basically what we do is we take from the Am I the Asshole subreddit, we take some of the posts that people have made where they post a scenario or a question, and then they ask the Reddit community if they think that they are.
but the Reddit community sucks.
Well,
And we
I am part of the Reddit
are the
community.
true R-Bundle.
I am
Yes.
part of it, Freddie. So
You're more of a lurker, I believe.
long time lurker.
Well, what about on Reddit?
In the shadows.
But and then, yeah, they basically are trying to take a sampling of am I wrong or am I right? And so I like to pose you guys with a scenario and see what you think and see how you kind of fall
All right.
in this moral continuum.
Got it.
This was made by user Tway342. Am I
Yes,
the
they're an
asshole? Am
Here's Tway, the asshole.
Am I the asshole for getting too upset over a game? I, 19 male, recently started playing Minecraft for the first time ever. Congratulations.
Okay, cool.
I've been working on this world I've been playing for over 2 months with my little cousin. I finally beat the game today by killing the dragon in the end. My girlfriend came over and completely fucked over my entire world. I don't know how the fuck she did it, but she somehow changed the game mode to creative and fucking put lava all over my house, destroyed my farm, completely erased this huge cobblestone tower I made, used up all my diamonds to make diamond hosts, and I have no idea where my ender egg that I got from the end is. She must have searched on YouTube how to completely fuck over someone's Minecraft world because she's never played Minecraft. Like, why? Anyway, she giggled like it was funny or something, but I was fucking pissed. I kicked her out of my place, and I haven't talked with her for 2 days. She's now mad at me for getting upset over a kid's game and now expects me to apologize for being overly dramatic. Most of my friends say I'm being a baby, and all of her friends are telling me that I don't deserve her if I can ignore her for 2 days over a child's game. I don't know, maybe I am overreacting, but like, what the fuck? I worked on that fucking world for so long, and to see it go down the drain like that really hurt me. Am I the asshole?
Can we just answer this with a look? I don't know if you need to say anything. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know a lot about Minecraft. It sounds like he doesn't know a lot about Minecraft. He's saying that she also doesn't know a lot about Minecraft, but somehow managed to ruin
She went to great lengths.
Has anyone played Minecraft enough to know if this is
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah, you can switch over. I mean, I think it would be a console command to kind of flip it over in a survival.
But theoretically, couldn't he just use the same things that happened to him to just fix it?
I mean, like I will say this, and I will point to a tweet that I made earlier this year,
Please do.
which was make
Incriminating.
2020 the year you back up your files twice and get a password manager. And if he had followed my advice and backed up his world, this wouldn't be a problem. So just throwing that out there.
So okay.
You're responsible for your own data of all kinds. Back it up to do 2 different places. Fireproof safe, another place off site. You're totally good.
So-
it's not backed up unless it's backed up twice.
So is he an asshole? No. Is he a fool for not following Freddie on Twitter? Yes.
My thing is they might both be assholes.
Oh, they're both.
yeah.
Which means
Because
they're perfect for
like,
each other.
my thinking was like she seems like she went to lengths. There's a mens rea behind this, and no, I'm not saying that she was on her period, guys. That means that there was intent behind her actions. Okay, I have to explain these things sometimes. If
She's
didn't,
trolling on
if she
purpose.
wasn't familiar with Minecraft, she definitely had to look up how to do this. And then, like he said, she was giggling like it was funny or something. They both sound
like what I think the word is
Yeah.
children.
maybe.
The thing
18M.
the thing of 19M at the beginning definitely like this is a child's problem.
Hey, what's up? Brain hasn't fully developed yet. Going through an emotional thing.
I've
right
got
now with the video
nothing
game.
but time.
I will say, like,
I spent so much time in this making this fake virtual
Yeah.
world. Dang.
he said he was playing with his little cousin, and so that's kind of shitty, if he's playing with
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like the cousin doesn't show up in this. He didn't say that like the cousin was crying or whatever. He feels like he put that in for sympathy
There
points.
also feels like maybe the reason she did this was not to prank, but also because he spent so much time
Yeah.
of his life playing Minecraft, a game from 1,000 years ago.
Right.
And she's like, come on, there's a lot of good games, or play with me, or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And once again,
it sounds like they're both assles.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's also
He's
a one-sided.
overreacting.
It's a one-sided story. We don't know if she was like, "Hey, you missed my birthday and Christmas and many different Jewish holidays." Like that we,
Your cousin's been dead for 18 months.
yeah, let it go. Stop using him as an excuse. Or you've never had a cousin. But yeah, so we're only getting this guy's side of the story. And even from there, it doesn't sound good.
It sounds like there's a way to be pissed off about that, but then not completely end your relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
Over it.
Like a reasonable adult does.
Yeah.
Phrases like this makes me feel like blank, and why you did this, and I want you to understand that. If we can't come to an understanding, then this relationship is over. Unfortunately, he's a 19-year-old male, which means he's got to shut her out of his life for 2 days and go to the internet for further advice.
I mean, I do want to say too is like, oh, it's an age thing, but then I remember the picture of the couple splitting the Beanie Baby collection in court.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
No. Age is mental, man.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I can tell you guys is just scrolling through some of the top comments.
Yeah. What's the peanut gallery thing?
He is not the asshole.
Oh, surprise.
Reddit, Reddit sides with the mind.
This is my
Shocker.
community. This is my community, guys. This is my
I'm
community.
shocked.
Come on, this is my people.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, what's next?
This is posted from BG Foss Throwaway. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my girlfriend for not telling me she used to date my boss? I've been dating my girlfriend for the past 10 months and I got hired 4 months ago at my boss's company. So 10 months with the girlfriend, 4 months at the boss's company.
Okay.
Yesterday, we had a mini ceremony at the end of the day to commemorate a landmark of the company, and my boss took some of us out for drinks. I told my girlfriend I was going out with some coworkers, didn't mention my boss would be there, didn't think it was important, and asked her if she wanted to come meet us. She came, and while it was the first time she met some of the people there, I noticed that she already knew my boss and already had a rapport with him. I didn't say anything at the time, but I did ask her after we left, and she told me she had dated him for a few months about 3 years ago. I got flustered and asked a few questions that went unanswered because apparently it was none of my business.
Oh boy.
Sorry, it would be audio listeners. And then I finally asked her why she didn't tell me before I took the job, to which she answered that she didn't know if she should have, which got me even more mad. I told her that it was my career we're talking about and that she shouldn't have let me enter this situation without full knowledge of the facts. And then she said she didn't understand why I was making such a big deal out of this since it was so long ago, at which point I stopped the argument because she just couldn't really think straight from the anger and we were going nowhere. I just told her I felt like she lied to me. She refused she did anything of the sort, and that was that. Am I the asshole for getting angry at her?
Oh my God. Children.
Yeah, he sounds like an asshole.
This sounds like a guy who's like, I've not had a lot of relationships. I do not acknowledge any, you know what I mean? Like, it's again, also flip the situation. I don't know. Yeah, come on. People go out with other people. It's like, this is how it works. This is life.
It's a Schrodinger's girlfriend situation. Like, did she exist before she met this guy? No. Yes.
Yeah.
Depends if you're an asshole or
doesn't
not.
want to believe that she existed before.
Right. How could you do anything
and also
before you met me?
The conflation of like, oh, you going off my boss, this is my career, is insane to me. It's like, what does that have anything to do with? Like, what is your career?
I was gonna say when he says that he said to her like, well, why you should have told me this before I accepted the job, and her response is like, seemed along the lines of like, well, I don't want you to make a decision on your career based on a guy that I dated 3 years ago.
Yeah, it seems insane.
Because this you found other reasons to want to take this job.
Yeah, hey, babe, I'm interviewing at this place. Who works there? Give me their names.
Hey, I'm gonna need a list of pictures. I'm gonna cross-reference my Facebook with. It's like, oh, whatever.
I want to make sure you're not working with anyone who I may have dated, which is my own personal business.
Yes. Also, we haven't even been together that long.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to me, it feels like feels like a very possessive thing. The idea that it's like, oh, if someone has gone out with someone else, therefore this is affecting me. And like, what? No.
his boss owns him, and the only thing he had was his woman. But now his boss also owns his woman.
Yeah, he owns the means of production as well as exactly
The means of reproduction.
The means of
You know what
reproduction.
I'm
It's
saying?
true capitalism.
By the way,
in
this is
play.
also a plot point in Office Space, a movie that jokes about how stupid office politics
Someone
is.
made a Lumberg joke in there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like on the line where I'm sort of like, well, she knew before that was going to be
sorry,
his
real
boss.
quick. How many months did they say they were together?
They were together for 10 months.
But he'd been at the job for 4 months.
I'm kind of
so
of
that
the
would be
mind
at the 6
half
month
a
that,
year.
I mean, if it means nothing, why not just say, oh yeah, I went out with that guy. I feel like it's kind of like, it's
Unless he has a history of
it's-
being an asshole.
It sounds
unless
like this
he's
is the kind of guy
usually
where it's like,
possessive and controlling.
I mean, look, at some point you need to get into that conversation. You should. It shouldn't be just your total mystery, like you know, beings who are just like plopped onto the earth. You have the conversation about like, oh, what was that like? Because that's like a mature adult thing to do. But it does feel like this is not the kind of guy who can handle that conversation.
He's overreacting, but I also think it's such a weird coincidence that I think you just say it when you see when you know, he says, oh, I'm interviewing here, and she knows like, oh, that's the boss. You go, oh yeah, I do that guy.
I'll put in a good word for you. I used to blow him.
I don't know. I mean, I just think it's
I know what his balls taste like.
I don't know.
I
don't
can see
know.
it both ways because again, it's not like a thing. It's not like she was denying it. And then
Yeah.
came out, right. He's definitely not saying
Yeah.
that. It definitely. You can't read into it because it's like who knows if she even was aware of what the thing was, or I don't know what the job is. What all that side of things. And I could see if it's like this guy's clearly kind of insecure, being in a situation where like I should not bring this up, but like whatever.
There's always it's the tough social situation of someone goes, "You lied to me," and the person going like, "No, I just never brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never
tough
mentioned
one.
it.
You
Like,
purposely kept this from me.
I did not lie to you." And so, but those are like impossible to resolve because one person's perspective is,
Yes.
my truth had nothing to do with your
Correct.
narrative.
Yeah.
And their perspective is, you withheld the truth and that affected
is
my
a-
narrative.
right,
It just-
And both
yeah.
people are technically right in that scenario, but it's
To her, it wasn't even important enough to mention.
you can't
know,
interpret the importance of someone, the stakes for someone else.
I just think
Yeah.
that both of them played it so poorly because I think a threesome with the boss is out of the question.
yeah.
Like that's really the problem here. Is they're in a situation where they made that impossible, which is like you only live once.
It also does seem like this is the first time the interaction came to a head
Yeah.
at this party. It came out. So it's not like she was avoiding the boss to try and maintain this air of secrecy about the whole thing. She was like, "Oh no, yeah, I know him."
Yeah. It's like,
It's like, what do you mean you know him?
Yeah.
yeah, this feels like
we're
that.
human
On
beings.
Slack, he calls me Eskimo brother. What does that mean? Dude, it's because we both like snow, right? It's
He's
'cause
sending me high five emojis.
Yeah.
That's the Eiffel Tower.
Aw.
The wobbly H, we call it in this industry.
What do you think the job is that would get them all?
Sees
Porn
candy.
industry.
Yeah, that's what's weird about it. This is actually
Yeah.
just porn. So
Yeah, I imagine, Geek Squad.
Geek Squad.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, it's the guy too is probably like this balding, like, oh hey Sarah.
Yeah,
Like,
I bet you he's like, boss is probably just like, oh, cool.
oh cool. You guys are
Because they seem to be able to
together?
get along together fine afterwards. It's not like
Yeah.
it's awkward. So clearly,
Yeah.
it sounds like the boss is
Like-
just like a rad dude.
Yeah. I noticed at the party he was like smelling her hair and then
Yeah.
like patted her on the ass and then sniffed his hand.
They left together.
Yeah, is there something going on? Am I the asshole?
Oh, this is the last
Talk
one.
things out, folks. That's the key. Talk
This
it
is
out.
from Benthi. Am I the asshole for turning my dead grandma's Facebook account into a legacy account so my mom stops logging into it?
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
Whoa.
This one's a little heavy. My mom's an alcoholic that has been going off the deep end for some time now. My father passed away in 2018, and my grandma, her mom, passed away in September. I've tried to be there for her. Her idea of coping is drinking cases of beer with her friends, berating anyone that tries to offer sound advice. I live hours away from her now. Been trying to talk to her while she's drunk. Last week, I heard from my brother-in-law that my mom tried to add him on Facebook. My mom's notorious for snooping around on Facebook when she thinks I'm hiding things from her. I'm 32, by the way. But I didn't see this as a big threat and let it slide. I was talking with one of my cousins and brought up the weird snooping thing. The conversation segued into, your mom's still logging into grandma's Facebook account almost every night. It's really weird. Our grandma passed away in September. At first, I didn't think much of it. Our grandma lived with my mom until she passed. She had all her passwords and everything. I've tried confronting her a few times about why she was doing it. She'd ask if it was bothering anyone. I said yes and changed the conversation. So on Friday, I sent a request in her Facebook to turn it into a legacy account. After about 20 minutes, it was done. Friday night, my mom sent me a message asking who did that. She was livid. She wanted to know who did it and if I had any knowledge of it. I didn't take the blame, but I mentioned it was something upsetting all of us. We'd see our dead grandma come online, knowing obviously it wasn't her, but for a lot of us, that was how we communicated with her since she was hard of hearing, so it hurt. We wanted to send her messages with how we're doing as a way to cope with the loss, but we can't do that when my mom is constantly logging into it. I asked my mom why she was doing it. She said she didn't have to justify her actions, and it was her account now since it was her mother, so she had the right to it. I'm sure it was some weird way to grieve, but with my mom snooping on Facebook, I also wonder if she was using it to snoop on other family members. I just felt wrong. I also ended up finally deleting her from Facebook and haven't talked to her since. Am I the asshole here? So there's
This is a
two
lot
things
of
where
depth in this one.
it is.
Boy,
It's like she's this person's almost trying to justify their mother's behavior too by saying, well, maybe that's her way of dealing with the grief.
They're putting in a lot of.
Say
So
no asshole.
interesting strategy. I will say I disagree with the strategy. Let me just say this. I get trying to help. I don't doubt. I'll put it this way. What is interesting is I don't see in there like, hey, I'm trying to help my mom out. I'm seeing a lot of this is creeping me out. It's creeping other people out. I don't see, hey, I genuinely do want to, like try and help her. It doesn't seem like this feels like, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
She
doesn't
did
feel
say
like,
at the beginning that anytime someone tries to
But she
like
drops that by
bring
the
it
end.
bring it up, then her mom changes the subject or like is avoiding. She just wants to drink and make other people feel guilty, and then when anyone
which is an
confronts her,
interpretation, sure.
Well, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it doesn't feel, but
Yeah.
my point being is it doesn't necessarily feel like it's coming from that place. Which is again, this
But-
is armchair psychologist reading.
what purpose?
Yeah,
What productive purpose could one have
I mean, like
for
if
logging
your
into their
Farmville is like
deceased?
I mean,
parents'
top
Facebook
level.
account?
top level
the
Farmville.
people that are
just
saying
let
that are
that go.
defending the mother's actions, saying you're the asshole. They're saying some people grieve in their own ways, and maybe that in the future this mother would want to post pictures of her mother at some point using this account or something, but can't anymore.
Can
You know
just
what
make a
Ed
fan
Gein?
page?
You know what Ed Gein used
Yeah,
to like to do? He used to like to put his mom's skin on over his body and sit in a crib. So
There was something interesting about the idea that like doing so in the grieving process, assuming that this is like a legitimate grieving process, that it is like making a very visible and painful sort of side effect to other people around, which is why a fan page is the way to do it. You post as a brand. You turn mom into a brand.
But that's
Okay,
what it
alright.
is, isn't it? It's legacy.
At this point,
That's
yeah.
what a
Yeah.
legacy account is.
Yeah, so
isn't
how
it?
does that work?
I think a legacy account just means that it's acknowledging that this person doesn't exist anymore. And so you can still, I think, interact with that page as a remembrance. It becomes like a memorial
But can you
page.
not log into it anymore?
I don't know that someone has
Now
like
that's
complete
interesting.
I don't think you
control
can
to
log
just
into
hide
it.
I think it just disappeared.
Because clearly she's
So-
losing something.
So like
there.
you could theoretically still post old pictures and tag that account, and people could still find those
Yeah.
things and stuff. Be like, oh, me and my grandma, and you
Yeah,
tag her in the account.
This thing is, I think the mother is upset because she can't log into it now.
But why did she need to log into it?
So your legacy account can write a pin post for your profile, update profile picture, request removal of your account, download a copy of what you shared. So it is like
It's just like a limited access. You're probably just not going to be able to play
Yeah.
Farmville anymore and not use chat features and stuff like that.
Right, so it doesn't look like a dead
so it
person
could
trying
be
to talk to.
so it could
Yeah.
be a Farmville thing. We
Could
don't
be a
know.
Farmville
Could be a
thing.
Farmville thing.
But
Now-
you yourself said
And
password
here's the other
manager
strategy.
and back up your.
Now here's where the other strategy comes in. Why not just like the opportunity here is to create a bunch of fake Facebook accounts and message mom posing as grandma to try and ferret out the truth, catfish
yeah.
your own mom who's pretending to be her mom.
What?
Wait,
Now, is
wait,
that the
so
asshole
you
move?
are pretending to be grandma?
Or one of grandma's
Did
old
you see the
acquaintances
movie
from
on-
the war. From the war.
I see.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
mean,
the
you make a bunch
war.
of,
I
you're,
see.
you're
The war.
steward on the
Long
101st.
time no see.
Did you see the movie Unfriended?
Which one?
Unfriended?
No.
The girl comes back as a ghost on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
It's
good.
actually an entertaining watch.
It's pretty good.
all
Both
right.
of them.
I think it's
There's
on
two of
HBO
them
right
on
now.
HBO. There's that, and then there's Unfriended.
Dark
Guess the
Web.
subtitle.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were going to say it. I was going to say emphatically with you. We're going to go dark web.
You was gonna say dark web. If I said guess the subtitle, you would have got dark web. Yes.
So they use Facebook like a Tor browser or something like
There's
that.
the second one's a different
a
concept,
ghost,
but
Adam.
it's the similar.
Actually, that's
execution.
in the dark web, it's still the Facebook.
There's a picture of that guy.
It's like, oh, I went to college with that guy. I need
Or
to buy a
did
bazooka.
But yeah, I don't know what the point was.
Why
I don't
would
think
you not
she's-
take the opportunity?
I think you got to lock that person out of that Facebook account. I don't think
Yeah.
that you should maybe write her out of your life completely. I think you should expect sometimes people to be upset when they're grieving and they clearly have maybe a substance abuse problem or they're.
I mean,
upset
like
in
I would,
their
I would
ways.
say
Like,
this. I agree, but I would also say you need to I think you need to kind of like push at like try and figure out, spend a little more effort to figure out what she's doing on there. Because if it is a legitimate grieving thing, then it's like, okay, hey man, like this is something else. But if you're doing
It's
stuff
the
like
snooping.
but if you do something like, all right, hey, post a status that only that grandma has access to, and say this, and see if it comes up, and like, you know what I mean? Do some spycraft, man.
Yeah,
do some
yeah.
of that MI5 ass British intelligence shit, and try and figure out what's going on, because then you can make an informed decision.
Yeah.
At that point, I
Yeah,
think
that's a good idea.
I think you need to dig in a little bit. I know it's a
Yeah.
little creepy and a little weird, but it is, again, assuming it's coming from a genuine place of concern, it is on you to figure out what exactly
If you
is going on.
catfish her with some crazy information about yourself in a post and then see if she comes to you and says, like,
Exactly. And that, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That
That's
woman
that
on
British
Instagram.
intelligence. Yeah.
The celebrity, wasn't there a celebrity, British celebrity who her stuff about her life kept leaking into magazines? She's like, what the fuck? So she created a fake account and then kept blocking certain groups of friends and
Ooh.
stuff, and then narrowed it down to one
wow.
person.
Wow.
So only one person could see her post but didn't realize that.
Brilliant.
And then she posted something, and then that got leaked, and she was like, Now it's there.
Brilliant.
Wow.
The other person saying no, but
That's some Game of Thrones shit right
Yeah, I
there.
know.
Brilliant.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. This also the
That's
easy.
a bummer. What a bummer.
Yeah, this whole thing seems sad because
Mm-hmm.
one same thing, you don't know all sides, and it's like, yeah, it sounds like from an outside perspective, he's doing the logical thing and it makes sense and all that stuff. Then
interesting. You thought it was a he.
she or them, they, because I'm putting myself into this scenario.
Oh, see, I don't go on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it couldn't possibly be me.
Health site. No.
Yeah, I mean,
All my grandparents are dead.
the thing is too, there is someone who has passed away that I know who their partner still uses their account,
What's
and
that?
it's just weird.
Yeah.
You just go, okay, and it's just sort of like so and so like this thing. It's like, didn't you? Oh, they didn't change the name because
Yeah.
it was like a shared account.
That's a weird side effect of the hellscape that we live in, which is why a password manager allows you to
Hold up the
keep-
picture again.
Zybourne Clock.
This would
Sometimes you
never
get good
happen in
things.
this universe. or
Sometimes
it
you get
would,
good things, like
because
Zybourne
it
Clock.
includes all the
Zybourne.
universe.
Other times you need a password manager.
40. Fast forward 75 years in the future, and the final item from the Freddie Wong estate. Some weird thing. I don't know. What $30?
50 cents sold.
Would you have a kill switch like on your thing that will send an email out in the event of your death? Like if you don't keep like
Oh, I don't have a
updating it.
kill switch.
Have you tried
but
that?
Would I? Is
yeah,
that
would
a
you
thing
do a
you
kill
can
switch?
do?
Yeah, you can set up like an internet kill switch. So it's like in the event that you don't like keep logging in on something.
If
you
you're
can set,
watching
like,
this
an interval.
video, it means Freddie got me. the
My
evidence
worry
is in
about
the car.
that Is I'd want to keep
Destroy
everything
the
updated.
Zybourne
I'd have
Clock.
to, like every 2 weeks, I'd have
repeat.
to update it with new information. 'Cause
Yeah.
As you know, it is January. like, why am I always so specific in my kill switch method?
Yeah. I like the idea where you make the kill switch thing, you forget about it, and then it's like all this stuff leaks. No!
Yeah.
Damn it. The microfilm wasn't supposed to be released yet.
Well, our clock that's an hour ahead says 4:20, which in this
Nice.
meme-filled episode means that it's probably time to wrap it up.
Or blaze it.
But before we do, a little preview of what's coming to the channel this weekend. We've got Watam competition that we did. That was pretty fun with our friend Yami. Ron Funches stopped by to play Jakara Wrestling with us, which is really fun. LA Noir and more. Freddie, what can people watch and see you, listen to you do?
Yeah, we're the big thing right now is our Dungeons and Daddies, our Dungeons
1
and
year.
Daddies podcast hit
Congratulations.
the 1 year mark today, as of this very moment. I think it's a lot of fun. If you don't like Dungeons and Dragons or you don't like Dungeons and Dragons podcasts, totally cool, because it turns out we kind of made it so that people who aren't super into D&D and know D&D rules can kind of get into it, hopefully. So check that out, Dungeons and Daddies, and also my other podcast, Story Break, where we did break Zybourne Clock, and it was like episode 174, I think it was back in the day. You can Google it. We posted it, and that's at RJ Story Break, and Dungeons and Daddies is at Dungeons and Dads on Twitter.
Sweet.
And, and then you can keep following me for all the high-end art world news at F1.
Yes.
I'm expecting a call from the MoMA, the Met. at any
yeah.
moment. It's weird that I think they may have got my number. Yeah, still know nothing, but any moment now.
Oh, another little preview from us coming this Tuesday. Yeah, no, Monday. Coming Monday, we have another episode of Lights, Camera, Trash. Our new series coming. You got one of you guys want to say what it is?
Oh, man.
I feel like you should just tune in to find out.
Well, here, we'll do this. I will give some hints to Freddie, and if he can guess it, then we'll reveal it.
Okay.
Action,
Okay.
makeup, guns.
Face Off?
So close.
Close.
So close.
Next
This one,
one.
there's a game based on this one, though.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very
I'll
good.
give you one last hint.
Furlong.
Well, no. I found out. But
Oh.
yes, but no.
Okay.
I knew that was wrong when you guys are saying it. I'm like, that doesn't seem right.
Damn it. I lost it. What
Oh,
was I
well.
going to say?
War Horse?
Oh, sorry. Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn.
Well, way back.
Whoa.
Gives you an idea of the time period.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at the third one.
Oh.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Those are good.
Anyway,
hints,
those are some hints. Someone will figure it out. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you as soon as we stop
though. Okay.
filming this.
All right. I want to hear it.
Not that you care.
Well, thanks so much
I
for.
do care. How dare you?
I was being
You're
funny.
the first person I texted to try and manipulate the auction behind the scenes.
And I am flattered that you thought I cared.
He thought you were a threat, to be clear.
But somehow,
I was like, if anyone knows about this, it'd be Funhouse Crew.
Yeah.
yes,
right.
because there's 20
But we
people who
didn't.
work here. But yeah.
we should have stolen it from it. We should have like
been
Now that I
more.
think
I
about
could
it,
think
that
of
would
so,
have been
so many
great.
better.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And we use all different accounts.
Oh
so you
my
don't
God. I'd
realize
be like,
it's
what happened here?
Yeah, if we could just somehow get the company to front $10,000, we're like, we're not going to
Yeah.
actually use it. But
It's-
we just want to push Freddie.
Also,
That's against the eBay terms of service. I'll have you know.
well,
Shadow
that's why we
bidding?
didn't do it. But
Now
we,
if I put A plus 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 plus.
Oh, but that's if you look at the guy's account, I left that. I was like, A plus 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 plus. We'll buy again. Great shipping, super fast, great communication.
We'll
All
buy
caps.
someone needs to make a movie about Freddie trying to sleep on that plane, and it's like Inception, where there's just a crew of guys waiting for him to go to sleep so they can go in, so that way they can somehow steal the Zybourne
Oh,
Clock.
we have a video idea for this. It's like basically the scene from American Psycho, where it's like, "Do you like Huey Lewis and the News?"
Oh,
but
nice.
it's just like, "Do you like the Something Awful forums back in 2003?" Like,
What?
yeah,
You have the
exactly.
Paul Allen.
What's good? What? Yeah, a bunch of
Well, thank
papers
you so
around.
much, Freddie, for
Thank you for
coming
having
by.
me on once
and
again.
We always love having you here.
Yeah,
you're
anytime.
always very fun.
Check
Love
out
it.
those rocket jump kids. They're great.
Oh man, there was a Watch Mojo thing about like where are they now? And then there's like
What?
Freddie Wong, where's this loser now? And then they're literally, I'm like, you don't mention anything I'm doing right now. They just lied. I felt so bad.
He used to
Watch
make
Mojo
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Where are we now? I don't know.
Yeah, nice try,
Making
idiots.
lists. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Thank you guys for watching.
See you next week.
Or tomorrow.
Okay, so you guys started a new YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It is called Unis Annis. Did I pronounce that correctly?
No.
How does it pronounced?
Unis honest.
Honest.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Honest.
Yeah, it's Latin.
That's how the Greeks pronounced it.
Oh,
Do you
my
know
God.
what it
went to
means in Latin?
Actually, it's not how the Greeks pronounced it.
How did the Greeks
Wait,
pronounce it?
not
Is
even
it?
the Greeks, Roman. Because apparently it's